Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Libra, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, my dear Librans, you have the Wheel of Fortune, right? This is nice. A change in the wheel, well, yes, a change in the wheel, but a change in the winds of fortune is in the air for you. You might find this week that things, people, or situations just seem to go in your favor. It's almost like things are kind of like the universe is letting or getting everything out of your way, right? So if you feel this week like, this is a bit suspicious, everything feels too easy, take it and run with it, right? Enjoy it. This is a time to really be present in that feeling. The reason I say this is the Wheel of Fortune tends to see us in the right place at the right time, and sometimes that's through delays, etc. But this feels like it's going to be way more aligned than that. It's almost like things that, like, the road is rising up to meet you and the wind is at your back, right? There's just this feeling of you breezing through this week. So open up and let it in. With that said, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share. If you should so choose and this resonates, hit that subscribe button. For your actions and interactions with the world at large over the course of this week, or your actions and options, should I say, you got the Eight of Swords, right? So where is it that you have felt constricted, bound? Where is it that you have felt like there has been no progress? Because this week you're getting a chance to break through the barriers, right? It could also be as well that this momentum that you've got, maybe something comes up. Maybe this is an old thought, an old belief structure, an old, ideology that you have or that you've had in your life, and you kind of catch it and you're like, wow, this is actually getting in my way. This is holding me back in some way, shape or form. And it's like this week you have the chance or the potential to smash through a self-imposed block or challenge or issue of some sort. I kind of feel like this is you giving yourself a talking to, but without having to do the really, like get into it all deep and stuff. It's just like this thought comes up and you're like, wow, you know what? I can't believe I think like that. And you dash it away. This week, it really can be that easy, right? You don't have to give yourself always give yourself a pep talk. I totally do. Right? But there's more to it than that. Like this week, it's so much easier than that. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Two of Wands right underneath the Wheel of Fortune. That is lucky blessings. That is conversations and ideas that lead to financial blessings. This is rubbing shoulders with the right people, having the right conversations. This also feels as well, when it comes to your professional life as well, for all of you in some way, shape or form, this feels like a change of a course of direction, right? So as an example, let's say you decide, right, I'm going to leave this job and I'm going to go to do something else, right? This week you end up having a conversation with the boss, with somebody that's in a position of power, and you think, oh my gosh, I don't need to leave this place, I can do something else. Like, it's just like the development, and it's like in regards to something that is already in motion. And it's like you're rethinking that path, which is great. So, if you find yourself rubbing shoulders or having conversations with the boss, with people that are in positions to help you this week, this is really great. For those of you that are business owners or people that have their own business, this could be clients, right? New clients, new clientele that finds you. Now, I'm going to be honest, you've got the Eight of Swords in your actions and options, which means something about the way that you see things or connections or people might need to be adjusted this week, right? Maybe some way that you view things normally is having to be changed here. You're having to look at this and say, okay, you know what? in order to welcome in these new clients or this new business, I am going to have to start thinking in a different way. But that's great, right? And then for those of you that are retired or no longer working, this is really you asking yourself, how can I secure more of my financial future without having to do so much? For your love and relations, you got the Hermit card. So, all right, look, it's a lonely week, right? For those of you that are single, you're way more focused on everything else, to be completely honest with you, to really give any thoughts or credence to love. That doesn't mean that there are no opportunities, because there absolutely are. If you are connecting with someone, anyone that comes up as the Hermit card tends to be older, wiser. They tend to be somebody that, you know, somebody that's really already very well established in and of themselves. When it comes to your partners, married, like if you're married in a partnership, in a long-term commitment of some sort, this may be a week where some of the changes of mind that you have might be a little bit off-putting to your partner. And that's not to say that they're like, oh, you know, you've changed, I don't like it, or anything like that, but it might be so quick to them that they might think, hang on a sec, something, you know, what's going on? Like, you know, is there something in the background that I don't know about? And it might be because it's such a fundamental shift that they're kind of looking at this and they're like, wow, this is a really big change really, really quickly. Are we sure everything's okay? Don't take it personally. Don't make it a thing. All right. And when it comes to your your money and materials, you got the Harvest card. So in this deck, it's called the Harvest. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is actually the Judgment card. So you've got two major cards here, right, in the money and the materials and in the love and relations. That does suggest there are going to be some conversations around money, finances and resources that you're having with a partner this week. That doesn't mean that they're bad conversations or challenging ones. It just means that you are having to really dig into some of the financial goals and planning that you have in place. Now, the Judgment card, especially because you've got the Two of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune, this is the reinstating of an old revenue stream. This is, I don't know, maybe you had an Etsy store, it didn't do so well and you thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to knock that on the head. And this week you suddenly have a sign, a synchronicity, a conversation with somebody and you think, you know what, I'm going to go back into that. Like there's some old revenue stream that's coming back into the forefront this week, and this time it's going to work. Like whatever you've tried to do previously, this time it goes ahead. This time it works. This time it kind of gets off the ground and it just gains traction and speed. This is also, remember, because the Judgment card is a call to action, and what you're being asked to really consider here is, where are the fruits of your labor that you haven't really tapped into? Where is there bounty in your life that could really reap financial rewards that you haven't given as much time, energy or thought to that as you could, right? This is it is going to require action, right? But there is definitely potential here to increase the financial yield. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this card I very often see for clients who have chronic health issues, things that are recurring, things that have been going on for a while. With this much good energy, and with this big sort of fundamental shift that happens in the mind or in the energy body, I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice, but you may find that something that you've been dealing with, working with, like maybe the symptoms get a lot better. Maybe they get a lot lighter. Maybe you think like, wow, you know, ever since I let that idea go, or I had that talk with myself, my inflammation has gone down. Or it's like whatever you're shedding on the internal this week, your physical self is going to be so much lighter and brighter for it. For those of you that have chronic situations, etc., there might be a breakthrough this week. You might discover some, I gotta say, if you are discovering a product that really helps with whatever the condition is, the Two of Wands does suggest it's going to be expensive, but the Harvest card suggests that you've got it to, you've got it to look after yourself, and there is no better way. I remember, I think it was about 18 or 19, one year at the time when I actually had hair, I had a haircut, and I was talking to the guy, the barber, and he said things that you should never be afraid to spend money on are maintenance of your body, looking after yourself, or having new experiences, or feeding yourself. He said in those three areas of your life, spend as you need to, and don't worry about, like, you know, obviously, you know, don't go and buy cream that's like £500 for a small tube if you can't afford it, but you get what I mean. Like, he was like, never be afraid to spend money on enhancing yourself or your life or making yourself better. And that was really good advice, so I will say that to you here. And then finally, when it comes to the home and environment, it is the Judgment card, which suggests for some of you there's a change coming to the home, right? You've got the Wheel of Fortune, you've got the Two of Wands, and the change to the environment that's happening for you this week is only serving to elevate whatever you're trying to get off the ground from here on in. This is a big week for you guys, and it may not feel like one. You might just be like, well, you know, this week's just been easy. Trust me, the magic is happening underneath the surface, all right? With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.